Hey folks, this is John at nTopology. Today I'm excited to bring to you the Stratsys nTopology FDM Fixture Generator, the second module in this generator, the masking fixture module. If you've made our way to our website, nTopology.com Stratsys, inevitably you've seen this. I'm going to walk you through it. We'll talk a little details on how it's useful. Here we highlight the second iteration of what we've been working on, the master masking fixture module. To get access to it, click here. Fill out a form, we'll get it to you right away. You can also click on some how-to videos. You'll find a couple new ones we've put up here. In addition to what we previously did, we put out the assembly fixture module November of last year. So let's talk a little details about what these modules entail and what they do. As I mentioned, one generator, and we have two modules. The assembly fixture module put out in November is great for building fixtures around parts that you need a CNC machine, or maybe you need a kitting tray, you need to do CMM measurements. We've heard a lot of people talk about the need for masking and protecting surfaces particularly, and creating guides. That's exactly what this does, and we'll get into it in a little more detail. How it works, it's extremely simple. Import a file, a CAD file, select some faces, create your masks. There's actually three different things you can create, masks being one of them. And then finally export a file out as either a CAD file or an STL. The great thing about this module is it can be used across several different industries. So you see them on the screen here: oil and gas, aerospace, automotive, agriculture, many more. Look, anytime where you need to protect a surface in shipping or manufacturing operations, that's where this can be used. You see different types of masks that you can put on surfaces and where they'd be used. But let's focus on a couple of those. So critical surface protection, when you have manufacturing operations such as tumbling or blasting faces with media and you need to protect them, that's where this can really come in handy. Deburring guards, protecting machine surfaces. And then there's something similar, cosmetic surface treatment. So maybe you're painting a body and you need to protect surfaces, doing powder coating, logistic protection, or just a guide for sticker placement or any kind of visuals. That's where that can come in. Operational excellence. So in general, if shop floors are wanting to reduce scrap rate, increase throughput, if you want to find out if a part is going to pass earlier in the stage of a manufacturing operation than it has been, or just protecting parts throughout and increasing the scrap rate, go, no-go gauges, that's the place where this thing can come in really handy. So let's jump right into the software and I'll show it in action. The file that you all will open up if you download this looks just like this. It's somewhat blank. I mean, there's an initial start part, and you will see the three options here for creating plugs, masks, and enclosures. Plugs do just what it sounds, and the masks and enclosures have a little bit of a variation to them, and I'll go into a different file that highlights those. So I've already kind of pre-populated this file with a few different options. You can see them on the screen. I'll kind of go through these in order, and we'll talk about the plugs. The plugs, exactly, they do exactly what they sound like. They plug holes on one or more faces. There's a couple interesting things that I want to draw your attention to, and we put a lot of work into this module and making sure that it was meeting customer requirements, but that it did more than just stick a plug on a hole. So three things in particular I want to draw your attention to. One, we automatically put some grips at the top. That's an option that you can check when you're creating it. So it adds a grip so it's easier to remove and insert the plug for that matter. Second, we did put some undercuts. If that's something where you want to make sure that there's no interference at the corners, which could be a problem, that's an option that's automatically included. And the third would be a taper angle on the body as well. So those are all options that you can either set the value or the checkbox down here. All right, so next up is a mask. Now, what's the difference between a mask and an enclosure? Well, let me highlight that now, and we'll zoom in on it. Here we go. It's the green body. So a mask really has a lift-off effect, or is more like an extrusion. The great thing about this is, yes, it works on planar surfaces, as you can see, but also curved surfaces and anything that's really complex, too. Because of the robust nature of nTopology, we're going to be able to take that surface curvature and match it to a mask and offset just about anything. It has a number of options you can use to, if you want to include a clearance, which may not make a whole lot of sense for a mask, Great tool, though, for really offsetting any kind of surface. And then the final one to talk about is the enclosure. Very similar to a mask, but the difference is that this thing is completely enclosing a surface, so there's no interior that's showing. So more than just a straight lift-off effect, it's completely covering over a surface. The great thing about this is it's not just flat, it's going to include some features from the bottom side too, to ensure that this thing will stay in if that's what you're after. Now, one of the interesting options about this is something called the enclosure type. I have elected the inside only option right now. Now, I went ahead and made another version of this that has not inside only, but the conformal option selected. So you can get an idea of what it does. It's actually wrapping around the part to ensure, if you don't want a face to be covered with something, to ensure complete protection around maybe that flat face. So let's zoom in on this a little bit and you'll see exactly what's going on. So the inside only effect is going to stop right there at the edge of the part. But the conformal, again, it's going to wrap over, and you still get the taper effect too, and you get to dictate how far down you want this thing to penetrate over and around the surface. So just a lot of great options that we put in based on very positive customer feedback and interactions that we've had. So that's the module. I encourage you all to try it out. Let's see, one other thing. I did open this up on, let me go back to this file. Again, this is the file that you guys are going to see when you open it up for yourselves. Go import any kind of file that you want and test it out and see how well it performs and give us feedback on this. I went ahead to and opened this up on an engine block, actually. Now let me give some credit where it's due. I went to GrabCAD, one of my favorite sites, and found this really intricate engine block and thought, surely this is going to be a time when people may need to do some operations. Maybe they want to blast this for whatever reason or just protect that top surface. Yeah, nTop was able to create this no problem. It's not a terribly difficult mask, but there are a lot of features on here, and this is all just one button and click. You select the model, select the face, and the mask is automatically built for you, and it's ready to export either as a step file for downstream operation or an STL file for 3D printing. All right, so impressive capabilities there. Let's just end on a couple final thoughts. The benefits of using this time savings. Hopefully you saw, I didn't go into showing a lot of them live, but it really is as simple as select your model, select your face, and you've got it. You've got the mask or plug or enclosure created. So that gets into ease of use. We really built this around being a simple tool to use. Look, nTopology is a powerful tool. There's a lot of buttons, a lot of options. We've stripped this down so you only have to know the bare minimum to get the job done. It's very robust. You saw anywhere from an engine block to a flat face and anything in between. It's going to create masks and enclosures on those. And then finally, it's extremely versatile. We've built this to the first part of the module to make fixtures. We've moved on to masks, enclosures, and plugs. And we're not stopping there. We continue to move on and develop new things. So look for future endeavors or future applications for us in the future. Let's see. Final thing, if you haven't been to our site, nTopology.com/Stratsys, please go visit that. Download this. Let us know your thoughts. I didn't put it on the screen, but maybe we can put it in the text wherever this video is sitting. Shoot an email to stratsys@nTopology.com. Give us your feedback. That's how we make products better. Thank you for watching, and we hope to hear from you.